Preview. Oh, here it is. Okay. Awesome. We are live.
Awesome. I have my selenite stone I'm currently healing with as we speak.
Oh,
It's a good
wonderful.
palm stone. It's like perfect for fitting in the palm.
That's great. I decided to wear my heart chakra stone
There you
today.
go. Open the heart.
Yes, exactly. I'm just checking to make sure I can see any chats. So I have the live chat open. Perfect. And I don't hear any background sounds. Oh, Pamela's coming.
Yay.
Yay.
Whoops. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going? I think I better put my AirPods on.
Okay.
You sound good.
Do I sound okay? Well, now let's see. Do I sound better?
I think you sound just fine to me. What about Danielle?
It's
Yeah, you sound good to me.
okay.
Yeah,
Look.
feedback maybe.
Okay. If you guys saw what I named my pods, you would.
We would laugh.
Are we live?
We are live.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
It's okay. We haven't really done any introductions or anything yet. I was waiting to see who's coming in.
Okay.
Still monitoring things as we go to see if we have any chats this time. And yay. So here comes Sandra.
Yay.
Sandra's coming in.
How exciting.
Yes, I know. This is great. Hi, Sandra. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here.
Yay! I'm glad you could
see you.
make it. Yes, awesome. So let me see. I'm getting admissions at the top. So we haven't done any intros yet at all. So now that we're all here, I'm Danielle Kane. I'm here with 5D All Day on Spirit Calling, and so excited for our second episode. We're talking about exploring healing modalities. And so we're all going to kind of share. I'm sure there's quite a bit that we've all gone through. I know I have my little list here. So we'll quickly go through some introductions, and then we'll start, with whoever wants to chime in first. So let's go to Pamela down.
Oh my. Hi, everyone. This is so exciting to be live and to be able to join you guys live. And I hope that we're able to get some new people who haven't seen us yet, able to just kind of, if they're not able to join the whole thing, just kind of check in a little bit and see what we're talking about. We're talking about healing modalities, which I think is so interesting because as I was thinking about it, I was thinking about all the different things that I've done throughout my awakening journey. And I don't even know how I can list them all.
Right.
So funny. Which is, partly why it is why we created Spirit Calling, to make it easy for everyone. So we have everything in one place, all of our healers and practitioners. But I think meditation was like the first thing that I started doing when I was on my awakening journey, trying to get into that REM state, trying to get into that, seeing the lights, seeing the flickers. You guys remember that? And seeing, after talking about it with people and saying, yeah, I've had that too. I've had the purple, I've had these. And you think about when you start that, it's like almost like a teaser to all the things that are to come, but it's that intriguing experience that keeps you wanting more and more and more and more to go down the journey of what we call awakening, right? There's so many different kinds of healing modalities. There's plant medicine, there's sound, there's, I've done tapping, I've done Akashic record readings, I've done mediumship, I've done, I think I may have done almost everything. Mushrooms, cacao ceremonies, Reiki, and it's not like one is better than another. It certainly isn't. They all, can complement each other, but they're all perfect at that perfect moment when you need them, because that's what happens. You fall into alignment with them at that particular moment on your journey. You fall into alignment with that person. You stumble into what you need exactly when you need it. Right, guys?
Right.
Yeah, totally. And we're all vibration, we're all energy, as you and we know, but people who are kind of experiencing us for the first time, everything is energy. Energy never dies. And you have and you vibrate at a certain frequency. So as you are releasing your karmic trauma and doing work on your energetic being and your soul, you are elevating your frequency. Each time you do a modality, each time you have a healing, you're elevating your frequency, you're elevating your frequency. Your vibration rises. And so when we say you're in alignment with, that's really exactly what we mean, is that your frequency is at a certain place and you are pulling in something that, resides in the same frequency that you're in at the moment. So you can't do heavy lifting if you're not strong enough, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You need the foundations.
Yeah. So what about you guys? I mean,
Yeah, well,
start
that's
the
and of course,
conversation.
Pamela wasn't with us last time, but she's one of the co-founders of Spirit
Oh,
Calling.
yes.
Yes.
Yes,
And
that is
so I want to thank you again for letting me have the space to do this.
Oh my gosh,
and
of
to
course.
share
This is your
our
space.
community and like love having these fluid chats. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Let's see
Thank
who's
you,
ready.
guys.
Nicole, are you ready? You want to give a little intro of who you are, and like maybe you can start off with some modalities that we're going to get really far into, like each individual ones that resonate with us.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Nicole Gibbs. I'm the creator of Awakening Mass Meditations. My journey is like blast off recently. So that's kind of where I started and came from with Awakening Mass Meditations, but it's just grown and expanding so much that my website now I am creating like these healing frequency music. So you can use that as a modality to help, raise your frequencies. Also just joining meditations that I have been creating, not just me specifically, but you can get them on the website for a free download and literally just experiencing what it feels like to know what it goes to go through a guided meditation or to feel a healing frequency, depending on the frequency you may need. I just feel like it's such a good place to start. Like, what does it feel like if you've never experienced it? So I'm really happy to bring this to the collective on this website, just everything I can. And now, because of Spirit Calling, it really just amplified more to create more offerings and sessions and things to just offer to heal and, raise our frequencies. And that's something I did want to touch on first is what does like healing even mean? Like, what are we talking about in general? And so our energy, knowing that we are energy and we come from energy and we're tapped into energy. Another way to see it is, the unified field, consciousness, source, all these 0 point field, all these beautiful words that we say where we're just like in nothing and all things at once. This space is that space that we're tapping into, if you will, where the healing may take place, because that's where everything or nothing resides. And so I think really just knowing that we can shift our energy and we're healing because we're raising the frequency to where we came from and what we know. And when we are that frequency, we experience these beautiful things in our lives. We feel the peace and compassion, and this aligns with and connects with that frequency, which is all around us. So how we remember to get back to that space is the healing. And so there's just so many ways we can, like Pamela was mentioning, just a few of so many ways how we can remember our frequency where we came from, so then we can live out our fullest potentials of our souls. So I just really just wanted to hit on that first. And so for me, meditation, like already brought up, number one, it's huge because you get to go inside yourself. You get to finally close off the external. And when you go internal, like it's another world, literally. And so going inside, closing your eyes, knowing you're breathing and tapping into the breath and just kind of cutting off your senses around you, really, and just coming within. That is a very good place to start, because what do you need? Who knows? What do you need? You don't even know unless you go in and close your eyes and just feel without the internal or external, frequencies coming in all the time. And so one thing that really is important is the space you are doing your healing in or raising your vibration. The space really, really must be clean, like decluttered. Like it also needs to have that same energy to give back. And so when I find a meditation space or a space I listen to this music or read or journal or whatever the various things are, this space also needs to be a space of healing. It's not cluttered. It's maybe has natural light, or maybe it's natural outside with frequencies that is connected to the unified field, that is that energy. So you immediately can connect to it. It's like a magnet. You just immediately just feel that peace in your heart because you're in this space to allow the healing. So I just wanted to begin with that. And I just am so thankful to be a part of this conversation of healing, because this is the journey of life. I mean, we are living and healing as we're experiencing. And if we're not, then we're just continuing on and we're just doing it over and over. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Thank you very much.
I love how you said like healing. It feels good. It feels good when you're in that energy of healing.
Absolutely.
And it does feel good. And that's what continues you moving on that path.
It's addiction.
Yeah, that frequency.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Remember it.
I was mapping out some things that really where I started healing. And I actually had a conversation with Sandra earlier this week. And it reminded me really where I started to make the connections again, like the intention of healing. And so I think that's really important. And we'll talk about that. But yeah, all this stuff is so good. So good. Sandra, do you want to share a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. So thinking about it, I realized that like the energy awareness in my body is like the filter. When something comes by, whether it's an opportunity or a food or a question or an issue that a client has, it's like my body responds to it. And how my body responds to it is where I get the information about that. How do I respond to this opportunity? Oh, that might work for a lot of other people, but it doesn't work for me because my body doesn't respond. Yes, I want that. Same thing with food. When I am talking with someone and they are struggling with something, my body energetically responds to it. And that's how I provide whatever it is I'm going to provide for them, whatever input I have to provide for them. And so as you guys are talking, it's like I'm realizing, you know what? My body is the filter, and my body's response is the filter. And one of the modalities I use is biofield tuning, using tuning forks and sound in the energy field. And this particular modality, biofield tuning, and this particular way of working with tuning forks, as opposed to other ways, my system responds with all kinds of awareness when I strike this fork. And it's like it activates my body's internal response somehow, and I get all kinds of information to people. So it's like Pamela and Lisa, they get this information for, guidance from the guides. For me, a lot of it comes with the tuning fork and the sound. And then I also use these cards here. These have been so much fun. To shuffle a deck of cards and like have information come for me, for other people. And human design, using a chart it's like a blueprint that merges with the biofield for people to, again, give me all kinds of information and insights. And it's like playing. It's fun. So
it is fun.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to jump in with you there. So I am Danielle, as you guys know, and I also do quantum healing hypnosis. And that was a huge modality for me. But a lot of what my healing journey began with was kind of stripping away indoctrination and or thoughts that really weren't mine. Like I just followed suit with what my parents did. I ate the way my parents did. I shopped the way my parents did. So a lot of the things that I started to begin was doing the things that were in alignment for my body. So physically. So it started off with nutrition. It started off with functional training, which I had never done before. later on breath work that I had never incorporated in my training and outside. So a lot of my journey started with the physical, and then stripping away from a reality that I thought was true that wasn't, like this corporate ladder that I had to climb up, and when I left corporate America, it was like I entered a dimension, and I didn't understand what that meant, but I'm like, oh, I don't have to be part of that world, and I'm not going to be like judged for it. Like it just disappears, and it like literally did. And then I created this new reality of owning a business, and it had its own challenges as well. But that was really the first aha of changing my habits, probably when I was living with Brian for the first time before we got married, and entering that contract too, where I started to do my healing personally, and kind of in a way, a codependent way as well, which later on I worked on healing those connections as well. It's like, it's a journey, there's so many.
Yeah. That's called growth, right? I mean, it's never ending. And you're right. I was the same way. And we've talked about this before. It starts with stripping away the indoctrination, stripping away the belief system that you were born into and that your family is, and you were a part of. And suddenly you pluck yourself out of that and your eyes are wide open to start to say and question and understand and go on that journey. Mine was also movement. I guess I neglected to remember that it was Bikram yoga.
Yeah.
It was Bikram yoga, which is this practice of intense heat, holding these long poses, 90 minutes in a 104-degree room. And I remember the first time I went, I was like, I thought I was going to die. And I was getting ready to leave. And the instructor said, if you leave, you'll never come back. And that was almost like chicken back, And I was like, I'm not leaving. So I went back. And then that started the journey. And then that started the meditation. But when I channel now, when I connect to the galactic, we've been calling them the galactic. It's so funny. Last couple of days, the Great Council. I listen to the specific one Reiki song, Reiki music. There's a vibration to it. There's something about it. It's like I'm one with it. And like Sandra said, that tuning fork does it for her. And you guys were talking about what you do. It ignites me or something. It sets that space. It sets that stage. And then it just is like an automatic and it just happens. I can do it without it, but I really enjoy doing it with it. It's cool.
It's almost like a self-induction, really,
almost,
of moving into that space. I love that.
Yeah.
And you have, like you said, obviously you don't need to do it, but it's a nice, smooth way of getting in there.
It calms me,
Yeah.
And the idea of now being called to channel live in our live meeting room, to channel live, to get in there and to start practicing that, which is like being on stage, which is my former life. And so now that's the next part of the journey, the space.
Can you share a little bit about what that means, like the live room and where we can find that if you're, I think, a spirit calling member.
Yeah. And also for those who are just tuning in now for the first time hearing us, you guys are all soul leaders in the spirit calling community. So you're practicing there, you're offering your sound healings, you're offering your work, you're doing this work within the portal. When you talk about a sacred space that you wanted to set the tone for, set the energy for, Nicole, that to me is spirit calling. It's a safe space to be able to do all of those things, to share your modalities, to share your spiritual awakening journey. And we created what we call the live meeting room. It's almost like being on a Zoom call. So anyone at any moment from the portal, inside the portal, any member can go and have a conversation, have a meet. I've always seen myself doing live messages from the Great Council of Light to people in mass, as they've showed us in mass, communicating what's going to come to the planet, what's going to happen to the planet, to help them navigate in a very major way through diversity on our planet. But it's a place where all of us, we could be doing it now there, where anyone can be live channeling. And it's a very, very safe space, a very high frequency place. It's a beautiful place. So I invite anyone who's looking at this for the first time to come check it out. for free for 7 days.
Yes, I love that. And so I think I've
Yes.
seen that meeting room. Was it called the meeting room or is it now?
Yeah, live meeting room or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all that.
Awesome. Well, I definitely would love to know, get on there because I haven't yet seen you do it live. So
Yeah, that would be cool. One day we'll do that.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. Just like what you said, it's just a beautiful space to have the opportunity to have these beautiful, experiences. But even just like this right here, this moment where we're connecting with just talking about high vibration information, things that you don't hear about on a normal basis. That's just so
Yes.
surface. Like the surface conversation, I'm not there anymore. I'm so checked out. It's not even funny. I'm just there for the emotion and the feeling of the person that I know I need to like be there for them. But when you can just have non-judgment conversations, just speak from the heart, like this is right now, I feel like, and I know I am healing because I can just express my soul, and that is so beautiful to have that experience, just to connect with like-minded people, to have these conversations in general. I mean, I am healed for, if not 1 or 2 days, like I am so high vibing after connecting. I mean, that is a huge one, just connecting with other souls, other selves that are on the journey with you. It's just another perspective to look at it, that is just filling your cup up, because we are all coming from that same space of source of everything. And so when we have separated and fragmented so far, we really feel this alone, this feeling of yearning and wanting to connect. But we don't feel we can do that with these conversations that we're always having on a regular surface day. So to have the conversations with people, just whatever you feel, whatever you're thinking, because it's not wrong and it's right, express that thought. And I just really encourage people to get on live calls, Zoom calls, even if you're not speaking, sit in and listen, because I really promise you are going to ignite your soul. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. That was so well said. And as you were speaking, my legs were filling up with vibration and my heart is filling up, because although I'm not in corporate America, I run a business that works with corporate clients. And, so I could be talking about marketing and strategy and all these things all day long. It doesn't feel the same.
Yeah,
it just doesn't feel the same, It's like, so what you're saying is it just feels so good. And I know we're talking about modalities, but just very quickly, we were on a podcast yesterday and it has ignited a lot of activity on our YouTube channel. So people are starting to follow. We're getting messages that are not spam through the portal and our website. And the messages are unbelievable. People saying, I'm a nurse. And I had this experience when I was young. I turned it off. It's coming back in a big way now. I don't know what to do. And I said to Lisa, this is why we're here. Like, these are our people. And that sort of message has come like 3 or 4 times over the last couple of days. And it's because it's feeling good. It's what they need. It's what their soul wants. They're being guided to it. And there was a message that came out about harmonic resonance, and I can read it later, to the host of the podcast that we were on. And it's all about the karmic trauma. You're never ending trying to heal the karmic trauma. But to the people who are doing the work, us, to the people who are seeking to do the work, them, it's happening faster. The healing is happening faster and faster and faster. So it's almost instantaneous happening now. So imagine how we're feeling. And that frequency, like you said, is healing us for 2-3 days after we're all engaged with each other.
We always talk, we're like, she's like, yeah, I'm ready to high vibe. And then we do, because it does. It's like, it brings up our vibration. And I also want to share something about what Lisa's doing with Spirit Calling and the Peace Challenge. And I mean, her and I've worked together, and almost every time she's helped me, because I know what the frequency, talk about frequency you can't see. It's like healing in itself, and just me connecting that vibration into the things that we're working on. Yeah, I'm healing, and it's crazy real quick. So I have like some kind of autoimmune issue, and it comes out seasonally, fall and spring. Literally, I kid you not, as I'm doing my mantras and everything. And then the next day is the summer solstice. You wouldn't believe that my symptoms stopped. I'm like, I like literally was asking Ryan, my spouse, was like, could it literally be that literal? Like, it's the end of the solstice and it's like, I'm just relieved. I'm almost hard to believe that could be true. He's like, Danielle, we're so connected to the stars and to all of it that yeah, your frequency is that sensitive.
Yes,
Yeah.
it absolutely is. And I know Sandra can speak to that too.
Sandra, please, yes,
Yeah.
share. Because I'm like in awe of like what happened.
The amount of information that we can get. So it's like thinking about what you just shared about like going from one day to the next, and something shifted that like your body was showing in actual physical reality. And I love being able to like ask a question. So, looking at whatever it is that Danielle's got going on, and before that shift, and it's just like the energy is like,
Mm-hmm.
and then after, whoop. So it's like we have access to that kind of information all of the time. Pamela does it through her channel. You do it through your quantum healing and all that stuff. It's like we each have our different ways of tapping into that well of information. We all have it. And so as we experiment, as we play and go, it's like, oh, when I do this, that happens. You just had this flash of awareness. It's like, oh, maybe. And so that sets off a whole set of thought processes. Something else came up that I wanted to share. That as healing people, there's this belief, assumption that we have it all figured out. And in the past, I have certainly been afraid to show the reality of where I am, which is not always wonderful. It's not always rosy. It's not always positive. And I'm afraid to be like just straight and honest about what's going on. It's like, yes, we are in this spiritually awakening place, but shit still happens. I still go into really bad neighborhoods in my head. And one of the things that I have found liberating lately is just being honest about that. This week I was like living in the bad neighborhoods, camping out, telling myself, wah! And when I share that, people can relate to it.
Yes.
Because that happens in your life and your life and in your brain too. And just being like real. This is what life is on this 3-dimensional level. Yes. It's lovely to be, but also to just be like, this is the day-to-day of where I'm putting my feet. And how heavy the phone gets when I need to call people. And, just like being real. And I think about that, and it's just like, it feels like there's a lot less pretending, mask wearing.
Expectations.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I was right there with you in the bad neighborhoods, throwing bottles, breaking windows. That's where I was.
It's also a good reminder that we are connected to nature. Like my shirt right here, it's just a phase, with the like, it's nature reminds us that we are going to cycle, we're going to come back. We just need to trust that. And like Sandra is saying, being true and authentic, doing the uncomfortable things, the things that you don't normally do, how you feel after that is so transcended. You just literally unlocked so much level of potential right there because you did the thing you've been holding yourself back from the whole time. It's literally the hard thing, the darkness, that's the light. You are seeing it as darkness, but once you see that is what you need to shift for you to expand yourself more, it's the hard and uncomfortable things, like as simple as pulling over when someone else is on the side of the road because they need help, helping others, being of service to others, whatever it may be. It's so simple. Your heart, your energy, your gratitude cup, it all fills up so much that you are like ready to do more. And now you're in this higher space that when you were back there in the bad neighborhoods, you're going to go back probably, but you also remember this beautiful space that feels so good. And you can get there by doing these little things throughout your day. So just remembering the ebb and flow is really, remember, it's not always, like Sandra's saying, going to be amazing and great. Maybe in like 8Ding later on, but right now we're still human. We're in the physical. We're still dense, and we have a lot to transmute, and all this beautiful things that we have the ability to do because we have alchemy and have these abilities. It's just amazing to remember that. That's just the thing. We have the ability, but we forget. And so just remembering is huge.
Yeah. And I would agree too. Like, you won't be doing any of the work anyway if you're all in the high vibe place all the time. This is where it's like you're being shown this dense energy that's the place that gets you moving at the end of the day. And it's okay to sit in it for a while and feel it, explore it. Yeah. No one really we don't really talk about that space a lot, because that's where my spiritual awakening happened. I was like ready to dig a hole and be like, don't come get me, because I just need to stay here forever.
Absolutely. Yeah, but those holes are still happening. I've had a couple this week. Yeah. And like Sandra said, you can be going up and then you can be going down. And what's also happening is that your vibration is so high that contrast is so much more intense. Oh, much more intense. And that's what I dealt with this week, with graduation, large crowds, old paradigms of former husband, family, children, mother, like the whole thing. And I was fine in the morning. And then as the day progressed, I was riddled with anxiety. And I don't even know where it came from. I had a great day, but then it was so overwhelming that I had to like release it. I was stuck in it. I was communicating with Lisa, my life partner, was so amazing and showed up 100% when I had nothing to give, and supporting me through all that. And then I woke up better the next morning, but it's so hard now. And that is real life on this journey. It can be so freaking hard. And then also the having to show up in certain ways when and you see it, having this awareness. You got to push through the fear, constantly push through the fear, because you see it. It's not like you can be like, I don't see you. It's there. And you have to deal with it. Like you want to, you get to, you need to, but it's there. And that's hard work. That's called hard work. That's just as hard as the knockdown that started your spiritual awakening. It's a different version of it that is just continual,
I wanted to share that Lisa did send a message. So she's with us, just cannot be live with us right now. So I just want to let you know, she said, hello, beautiful healers. So I can't be there, but happy I can jump in to listen and follow along. So she's here with us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa.
I want to say something back on the topic of modalities.
Okay.
So, when Pamela was sharing that experience of being with crowds and people from the past and all the stuff that came up and the amount of energy it took. These are the kinds of things that Human Design, the blueprint, helps to make sense of.
Yes, good one.
And this is something that I continue to get revelations from, 10, 11, 12 years into it. So if you ever want to make sense of those kinds of things, then looking at the chart from the perspective of, this is what happened, this was my experience. How can understanding the chart help me make sense of that experience?
Talk about what that is.
Yeah, and I feel like knowing that I'm a generator and that I do like yes or no, like I was actually like, I don't like to be asked open-ended questions.
I was like
that makes so much sense.
Yeah, it takes experiences of myself and my life that I don't like, I don't understand. I wish this would go away. Why do I do this? I hate this about myself. It takes those things. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
When I'm with crowds of people, it's natural for me to feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like, this is why I don't have energy for this. Mm-hmm. So that you can be understanding with yourself, and it helps you have practical strategies for how to manage the situation in the future.
Yes.
I also think it could bring up possible node points for possible healing in Akashics as well, which could really amplify how you live your life. Yes, you need to be sensitive about how you react and know that, because that's all you got. But knowing that this could be something that's attached to something either past, future, whatever, and that there is a space for you to go into to relive that, as horrible as that sounds, but see it with different potential possibilities. I mean, that is another space of really, you know who you are, but you know your potential could be so much more, is I think another way to see that. I just wanted to add that in there, but it's so important to know who you are, your potential, your boundaries, your thresholds, all those things. And if you can't do more than that, that's just fine. That's okay. That's where you're at. And don't feel, the expectations or pressure, like you were saying, Sandra. So I really like what you were saying there. Thank you.
Yeah, I do. I love what you're both saying. I mean, for somebody who's watching this, who's, maybe thinks they're having a spiritual awakening or is like interested and intrigued by this conversation, when you are inside the portal, you guys should talk about, like, where should someone start? Meditation and what both of you do, all three of you. But I feel like there's like, let me try this first and let me try this. And meditation is, I think, often a lot of igniters for people, finding their human design chart, getting that done, understanding who they are. And then they're ready. Once they understand who they are, like you just said, then maybe they want to dive into quantum hypnosis, or they want to, maybe they do that later, actually. Maybe they do Reiki. I don't know. But
no, this is what I did.
Like,
my sister's like, do some sound healing. I'm like, what's that? I would say to her about. She did. She's like, why don't you do some crystal bowl healing? I'm like, what does that mean? She goes, do this. She goes, you know what? Just check out Dolores Cannon. So I did. And then I'm like, whoop, nope, I'm just going to go right to the
But that was your path.
That was my path.
Yeah.
And then I had to work my way back to like shamanic journeys and sound meditations, which I love all of them. They're so wonderful. Everybody's journey is different. And it's funny with human design, I didn't realize the whole time in my awakening that I was connecting to my Akashic records from my session, that it was connecting my twin self, my gut, right? Which is, that's how I get all my channeling, I guess, of my higher self, is usually through my gut. And it's all intertwined. This is the modality that you learn through human design. It's almost like the blueprint. Once you get your quantum healing hypnosis and you kind of don't have the answers to things, you can get them through human design.
They're so powerful. All of them.
So amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. Go in and try it. Go talk to Sandra, start a conversation, direct message her, go talk to Nicole, talk about music, start with music, then go into meditation. Like, this is the beautiful part. Like, you don't have to do it alone. That's why we created all of this, because we had to do it alone. It's so much easier for people. It's like going to the library and going to different sections and checking things out, I'm trying to remember with meditation, I wanted it so bad. I mean, even when I was busy, I was a mom, I was running a business, I was all these things. And I remember being on carpool and having a minivan and having like kids and doing carpool and bringing them to gymnastics, and then having my meditation music on. And I would just wait in the car. And like, I had an experience where in the very beginning of my awakening, when this light came through my third eye, filled up my whole body vibrated, my teeth chattered. I felt the love energy. That was it. That happened again after my ayahuasca journey. But I was on this constant pursuit to find that experience again. I wanted it, even in the minivan, in the parking lot at the gym, gymnastics place. But there's little things like that. Like, I wanted to know what that light was. I wanted to know what that feeling was. And that started me on a journey of understanding. And then it moved to, where did Jesus disappear to for all those years? And then it moved to, it's a constant journey of understanding, and modalities are a huge, huge part of that. Absolutely. A huge part of that.
Yeah. And I think we're all trying to, oh, sorry, Nicole.
Go ahead, Danielle.
Yeah, I was just saying, just to kind of what you said, it's like this journey of truth for yourself, like in your own reality, like you're seeking like this curiosity of, where did Jesus go? Or I know in when one of my quantum healing hypnosis sessions, I wanted to really know the truth, because I was coming into versions of my reality that were not. So I was like, I really want to see things for what they are. Don't feel like you have to fluff it up to make me feel good. I will do the work to make sure that I understand. And I don't know how you guys feel, but that is a big thing for me, because I want to be able to make the decisions for myself, what are great, versus someone deciding for me, which I was always doing to please people. And that version, it never made me feel whole, you know? And so a lot of these modalities are continuing to strip those things away to find the real version of myself that is ready to serve, because I know that's why I'm here, but that allows me to be the best version of myself.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's good. So I was going to say, just perfect tying on to what you're saying, because I know I was just searching, for the answers growing up. And I've said this many times, but in a Mormon church, like I was given the rocks of something's out there, but good luck. That's how I felt anyway. And so like my whole life growing up, just like what, why, question mark all the time. And for me, a huge piece, and honestly, it's kind of funny looking back now, because in school, I always said to myself, at least, I don't like reading. I'm not a good reader. I'm not going to read. Like that was me in grade school. And then something happened where I came across a book and I was just like, I love reading. Like, give me it all the energy, all the information and knowledge, literally. So I was just hungry for knowledge at that point, because it was stuff that I hadn't heard before, that as soon as I heard it, I just like, this is what I've been missing. My heart resonates with this. I don't feel the question mark of why are they saying this? It didn't come with the why when I was reading. The huge thing for me was the law of one. The law of one, as complex and difficult of a read it is, if you can get just like little nuggets out of it, the way they word things and say things, it's just the way you are speaking. It's in a very oneness whole way that we are other cells of each other. It's just like this perspective shift that we're not all doing our one thing because we need to please God. We are God, and we are all literally fractals of this. It's just that shift that I needed, that was just like, oh my gosh, okay, this just opened up a whole nother field of information. I'm ready for this book. I'm ready for this book. Give me more. So reading really opened up to me, but of course not. You have to be careful what you read and where that information is coming from. But people like Dolores Cannon, Joe Dispenza, the Law of One, people that have brought in information that dates back to soul origins, times where before this life and before this earth, what's the other one? The Halls of Amenti, another heavy one, but really good, just earth history, why we came here, what we were before this, these types of things, to really get this huge grand picture. We're not in this tiny picture frame. We need to zoom way out and see how much possibility there is. There's no wrong or right answers.
It should have been on the reading list in high school. And this is where
Honestly,
we should have started incorporating
information. Yeah. And let me tell you something.
Yes.
This, whether you want to call it a modality or not, it is so important to have that awareness and understanding of our origin, of all the interconnectedness, the I am, the all of it. It is a part of it. So it allows you to have that greater understanding that places you in the whole. So that, like the human design, you can understand yourself, because you need to reflect and understand the whole. And then that starts opening up, like, what is this earth that we've been indoctrinated into? I mean, we could have a whole other talk about that. That's one of our lives should be about that.
We're not here to go to jobs,
fascinating.
3D jobs. We're here for grand soul purposes, to raise frequencies, to connect. So much more simple.
I love that you mentioned the books too, because I said the same thing. That is healing, I think, because I remember the New Earth and the 3 Ways of Volunteers. Was so huge. Powerful. Another Dolores Cannon book. And, I read the book Signs. That was really interesting because it was her way of communication. It's just great to hear what others have experienced and been able to help guide others that are grieving, so that book had a lot to do with it. So it's our connection with people's gifts. because like you said earlier, Sandra, you know, Pamela has her gifts. We all come in with maybe some modalities that we resonate with, but finding what those gifts are, and human design is a great way to discover that those are gifts. That's not everybody has that. I thought the ability to communicate and talk to people was something that everyone could do. They're like, no, that's like something unique to you. I'm like, oh, because, you know, I never felt like I really had anything to share. So I love that you shared the vulnerableness about human design to really appreciate the qualities in yourself that you never really thought meant anything.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
It really is. Like I've been performing since I was 16. I have been playing piano, doing music, and then I lost it. And then I found it again at 37 and started singing. And then I joined a band, and I was in a band for 10 years, and I was pushing myself to go out on stage, pushing myself. I hated it, but I loved it. But I knew I had to do it. I didn't see the whole picture until now. Now I know, because I need to be on a world stage talking about the spirit calling. And I had to get over all those fears and my stage fright and all of that to be able to do this. I didn't know that. I was going to be 53. You know, I'm still putting all these dots together, all these past life regressions that I've done, things that I've worked on, different modalities that made me know that I was an opera singer in a past life, that I always had a knowing of. They all help you put these pieces together.
Right.
And it's fantastic. And I still love working with practitioners. I still love it. I don't have a lot of time for it, but I love it. I want to continue to do it. Like anything I can do, I jump at it, you know, even have time with my partner, Lisa, who's a powerful healer. It's fantastic. It's amazing. So you're never done, ever. You're never done. You're always on this path of improving and putting the soul pieces back together, you know. But I use my hands a lot, Sandra.
Oh, same with me.
I'm very Italian.
Where can we put Lisa said to make sure we put the books, a list of the books in the community. Should we just post that in the activity for you guys to add?
Sure.
So Nicole, after
video,
can you post some of the books that you recommend? It's funny that you mentioned the Law of One, because that's part of the reading list for my new practice in soul center healing hypnosis. Then I'm kind of expanding that. And that is like and it's a 4 or 5 part volume book, the Law of One. Yeah.
It's a huge note point of my experience. I'll tell you that. I was doing anything to find a space just to read a little bit more. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, can I ask a question of our little group here? Can we all share maybe what's the modality that we might actively be practicing currently and or that recently happened that you'd like to share to today? So because we're getting close to about 10 minutes left, maybe that you would want to share to our audience about what's really helped you recently. Can we do that? Yeah. Do you want to, Sandra, let's start off with you. What's something that you've been using for yourself personally that you would recommend to others?
Recently, I took a universal white time gemstone healing class. Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. And adding it to doing biofilm tuning, helping to energize things. My previous relationship with stones was kind of like they were objects. You know, I use them as tools. Now it's totally changed. They're so cool.
Yeah.
So,
do you feel like they change the energy of the healing when you use them?
I think it amplifies it. And I have, you know, layouts that I can even do on myself. And it's had me like have big realizations a couple of times through having these gemstone layouts on, because you know, you lay them on the chakras and they activate the chakras with the energies of the stones and the energies of the intentions that I'm working on. So cool. That's my latest fun thing.
Great.
I'll go next.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
So this is something that I've been doing more recently, probably in this last month. It's kind of like a few point things, but on my way to work while I'm driving, just to set the tone of the day before I go into my hospital setting, I start with, I am currently listening to a few different podcasts. Specifically right now, it's called Vibe Check, and it's just talking about, your energy and your vibe, and you're just checking yourself. So first, I'm just starting my day with hearing information of how to bring my vibe up and just be aware of it. Then as soon as I get into my office at the hospital, I would turn on my meditation music and I close my eyes and I just think about the things that I just heard and how it resonates with me and how I can input that throughout my day. And that really has been setting the tone of my day and then how I can best serve myself and others. But it just really just makes me lighter and just more aware. And I've been really loving starting my day with, it's kind of like a check-in, but also with a meditation as well. So it's kind of like this two-part thing. And it's been great. I highly recommend that. Yeah.
How about
Exciting.
you, Pamela?
So the last session that I did, so you're next, I believe, that I'm going to be working with you next, Danielle.
Me? Okay.
Yeah. The last session I did was with Kathy Wolf. She's also a practitioner in our community, and she's a quantum healing with cranial sacral release. But she's like a gangster healer. Like she comes in like she like kick the door in, kind of like powerful healer. Lisa's probably laughing right now, but she's like, no frills, no nonsense. And I have had this energy, and so does Lisa, around our neck, and it's from all these past lives and all the things that we've gone through the past lives. So there was one specific one that I just couldn't shake. I don't know if I've shaken all of it, but before Lisa released her studio, the three of us went in there, and let me tell you something, that was really hard work. That was like super intense, like hold me down, releasing this energy from my body. Didn't want to go. And I mean, I'm in it for the hard stuff. I've done this kind of thing many times before. So they were like, are you going to be okay with this? I'm like, I know what I'm in for, but it was rough. It was hard. And I just asked Lisa like what her exact title is. She peppers in mediumship, psychic.
She did. She was laughing. She put a laughing emoji when she said,
It's
"F
true.
is badass."
Yeah, it was badass. And Kathy was like, damn, that was fun. Man, I don't get to do that all the time. I want to do that again. And I was like, like
Yeah.
joking, but it was. But so my now connection is just being fully immersed all the time, energetically, emotionally, with spirit calling. When I wake up, I give gratitude. That's one thing that I always do. And thank God for just connecting me with the great council, with Lisa, the work that I'm doing in the community, my family, my loved ones, and all the things. And I go through this little ritual. And then I have been painting. So when I paint, that's when like downloads are coming, and that's when I'm connecting a lot. I'm not able to do any of this as much as I would like to, but it's going to be integrating more and more as I step further and further into just being in this space 100% of the time. But I look forward to a session with you, Danielle. I know that I know you did Lisa, so I'm next.
You are.
Yeah.
And I know all of you guys. I think I'm going to be working with all of you. And I don't think that it's by any coincidence that we're doing this and then I'm part of your lives, because you guys have helped me, all of you, become, I'm almost going to cry. I don't even know why. Become the version of myself that I am so happy to be. And I love doing the work because it's like you said, Nicole, we are one. And like I am on a journey along with you, and we're exploring this information that we need to know and that we're ready for. And so I know when you guys come to me, I know it's time, because I'm like, okay, we need to do the work. And so thank you for all pushing me to that level. And the one thing that I've been working on is a spirit calling challenge. That's really what's been the wonderful thing that we do, is all sorts of cool things. And we're doing a peace challenge. And even in Lisa's session, the peace vibration in our quantum healing hypnosis session was extremely important. And we were supposed to share it. And as soon as I saw that she posted it, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. Even though I'm like not a very good challenge person, but it's helped me tremendously with listening to her sound healing and Nicole's beautiful sound music. it was beautiful. That first week that I did it, I felt just great. I felt really connected in my heart. And it was just my time to step away from the external world and really fill up and clear anything out that no longer served me. And then this week was the one about the mantras. And I wrote about, do you guys mind if I share it really quick?
No, of course not.
I wrote, I get to release the feeling of pain from my face and lips to allow for peace to radiate through me. And as I had mentioned before, I've had this autoimmune issue since literally the spring solstice. Actually, Lisa and I did our session. My son was home sick. I caught his cold. Literally, this was at the end of March. And since after that cold, I've had all sorts of crazy burning sensation symptoms come and go. And then I wrote this mantra, which I don't do, but I felt really like connected to what she was doing. And her and I are connected now since that experience. So I feel like they're tied together. This is why all the modalities all work together. And literally, I felt really, really great since yesterday. So that's what the healing I've been doing. And it's all like beautiful work of just intention.
Absolutely.
It is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for showing up and doing this too. This is so important.
Thank you. This is another part that's just like a calling that I think was meant to be. So spirit calling. And Lisa wanted to say she's chiming in that I've done lately, what she's done lately is biofield tuning, QHHT, Oracle healing, and Reiki. And you better read this out loud, Danielle. QHHT with Danielle's amazing. And okay, I didn't know she wanted me to share this, but I'm doing a surrogate session with her on Monday.
Yeah.
And what that is someone in her family who is younger, which we can do. I typically just do adults for sessions. You have to be mature enough to be able to handle the material, number one. And, since they're minors, we need to get permission from the parents, and the parents have to feel, everybody kind of has to be on board. So when we're dealing with minors, you can do like a surrogate session as long as they're aware that you're doing it. And so the family is all on board. And so Lisa is going to be the surrogate for us. And I know she'll do amazing. This is my first surrogate session, but I've had a mentor and I chat a little bit about what to do, and I feel ready to go, and I'm guided by spirit anyway. So
yeah, I feel now, my knowings.
Yes.
I knew I was supposed to stay connected to Sandra. I knew I was supposed to go to your gym at the right time. I know that there's going to be other young ones that are going to elevate fast, just like this one is. And this is going to be like huge. This is the beginning of something big.
Yeah.
I really do feel that.
And I believe that all the sessions that we're doing together are going to be important messages to share to humanity. I really do. I told you I'm connecting with all the ones that are somnambulistic, which means they completely go deep and connect to beyond. They connect to the higher version of themselves, but they can even like kind of what Lisa and Pamela do. They channel something else. And I think you guys all have those gifts for sure. So
we all do.
Yeah.
We all have them.
Does anybody else want to share? Yeah. Any last minute things? Anybody want to say anything before we wrap up?
I do want to say one thing. It's just coming through and I just can't ignore it. I just keep hearing the breath. I just needed to tag that on. Just be aware of your breath throughout the day. Many of us hold our breath. Many of us breathe very shallow. And that is just attracting living in fear. And just know that your breath is the lifeline to all the information and downloads. Full breaths, even just being aware. Try not to breathe shallow. Try not to hold your breath when you are aware of this. That is your life force connection to everything. Just keep breathing. That's all I needed to say.
That was really good. Can I plug the portal for a couple seconds? So for anyone that hasn't visited, who wants to find out more about the modalities that we were just discussing, who has interest in anything metaphysical, spiritual, if you're on your journey, come to spirit-calling.com. You get 7 days to go behind the scenes, check it out, see the post. You don't even have to do anything, just view things and see what's going on, see if it resonates with you, see if you're interested in it. Give yourself that gift of exploration. You don't need to know what it means. You don't need to know, if it's going to be an investment or not. Just do it. If you feel it, do it. And as Sandra says, just breathe.
I'm so glad that you said that, because that's one of the reasons why I like to kind of end on that, because that's why we're here. We're really here for spirit calling, and we're the ability to even do this is because of such a wonderful community you've created. And Lisa, I did miss something else that she mentioned. She says there's some great beginner modalities that are there as well. She said, I'm assuming chiropractic, cranial sacral, meditation, yoga, gyrotonic. Are you guys doing gyrotonic too on there?
She does gyrotonic, yes.
Yeah. So great. So I just wanted a tagline since you were talking about the portal.
Yeah.
They're very simple
Sandra?
things. I had some simple things written down
So
as
are
well.
people going to see this video who aren't in spirit calling?
Yes, it's live.
Yeah, this is live to everybody. Just only spirit calling members go on to the call, the Zoom call. Yeah. Go ahead, Nicole. Did you want to share something?
Yeah, I was just going to tag on to those simple modalities of very, very easy places to start, like Lisa just mentioned, meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, just being outside in nature, picking up a book, just being aware of the small little things. We don't have to dive into these courses and these things first. It can start very simple, breath work, sitting and controlling your thoughts, just stretching, releasing energy, just things like that. Very, very simple and a very good way to just tap in and tune into your inner world. Yeah,
that's a great thing.
Important.
Yeah, that was
great. Baby steps, because that's okay, because it's the journey is infinite. Really, we're here, right, doing it, and you always find something that resonates with, and so I think it's great. Well, you guys have been so helpful, I think, to help anyone that's curious to, I think, where to get started, and definitely check it out. I mean, gosh, look at how cool these ladies are. I mean, who wouldn't want to hang out all day? 5D all day. That's
5D all day, baby.
Be here all day.
Feels great.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to thank you,
ladies. Yes, Sandra.
Thank you.
I have one more thing I want to say. So there are some people who don't feel like they make a difference. They don't feel like they have a gift, or they don't know what it is. And the message I like to give people is that you're living your gift, giving your gift 24/7. No matter what you are doing, even when you feel confronted or stuck or whatever, you're still giving your gift. And so to know that, just by being yourself.
That's great. So yeah, it is very true. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And
I
we'll
love
see
you both. All.
Yeah, we love you all. And we'll see you hopefully next month. I'm going to be visiting Nicole. So maybe we can do another live stream when we're there.
That'd be awesome.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. We'll try to make that happen.
Yeah, I should go visit Sandra.
Yeah, Sandra's in Canada, right?
Right now, Washington State, but normally
you're in Washington,
Canada.
and I'm going to be in Montana.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe we can make it happen. See the spirit calling. Look at
you just need to let me know when, so that I can arrange to be in the place where that's possible.
All right.
Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. Yay.
That would be awesome.
So
all right.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Right. Love you all.
All right. Love you guys.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Bye, guys.
Bye.